My name is Ethan, and this happened during my senior year of high school. Our school was old, like really old, built sometime in the 1950s with long hallways, flickering lights, and classrooms that always smelled faintly of dust and cleaning chemicals. It was the kind of building that felt empty even when it was full of people. I stayed late one night to finish a history project. It was around 7:30 p.m. and almost everyone had already left. The only sounds were my footsteps echoing through the hallway and the distant hum of the vending machines. One thing you should know is that our school had a strict rule. All classrooms had to be locked after school hours. Every single one. That's why it stood out when I noticed room 214 was open. The lights were off, but the door was slightly cracked. At first I didn't think much of it. Maybe a janitor forgot. But as I walked past, I heard something inside. Breathing. Not heavy breathing. Slow. Controlled. Like someone was standing perfectly still, trying not to be heard. I stopped walking. For a few seconds I just stood there, staring at the dark crack in the doorway. I told myself it was nothing. Air vents, pipes, my imagination. Then the breathing stopped. That was worse. I backed away and walked faster toward the exit. I didn't run, not yet. I didn't want to look stupid if someone saw me panicking over nothing. Halfway down the hallway, I heard footsteps behind me. Bare feet, slapping softly against the tile. I turned around, my heart pounding, but the hallway was empty. Room 214's door was now fully closed. Locked. I didn't hear it shut. I left the school immediately and didn't tell anyone. I convinced myself it was stress. The next morning, I asked a teacher about room 214. She looked confused. "There is no room 214, she said. I laughed, thinking she was joking, but she wasn't smiling. She pulled up the school map. The hallway where I'd seen it ended at room 213. No door, no classroom, no explanation. A week later, a student went missing after staying late for tutoring. The police searched the school. They found scratch marks on the inside of a locked door, a door labeled 214. I went to detention a lot in middle school. Not because I was bad, I just talked too much. Detention was always held in the same classroom, room B12, and it usually ended at 4:30 p.m. That day, there were only 3 of us. The teacher left early, telling us to wait quietly until the bell rang. The bell never rang. Instead, the lights flickered. Then the intercom turned on. At first, it was just static. Then a voice came through. Not a teacher, not an announcement. It said my name, perfectly, clear. The other 2 kids heard it too. One of them started crying. The other laughed nervously and said someone was messing with us. Then the door handle started to move, slowly, back and forth. But the door didn't open. The voice came back on. It said, "Only one of you is supposed to be here." That's when we realized something terrifying. According to the detention slip, only 2 names were listed. Mine wasn't one of them. The door suddenly unlocked. We ran. I didn't look back, but I heard someone fall. I never saw those kids again. When I asked the school office about detention that day, they told me something that still makes my stomach drop. There was no detention scheduled. Room B12 had been closed for years. A student had died there. After staying late,